The Adventure by Jayant Narlikar, a chapter from Hornbill. If you find this video slow, please go to the settings and increase the speed. This is the second part of the lesson. The link to the first part can be found in the description box. Please check out my other lessons too. There's an entire playlist. After leaving the library, he had a simple and plain meal and stayed in a guest house. Frugal means simple and plain, costing little. Throng, large, densely packed crowd. He walked towards Azad Maidan, which was an open ground. A crowd was moving towards the pandal where a lecture was in progress. Mesmerized means fascinated. The professor did not look at the audience but at the platform. He saw a table and a chair. It was the presidential chair, but no one was sitting on it. Stirred to depths means moved, deeply affected. He was deeply affected by the sight of the empty chair and was drawn towards it just like a piece of iron gets attracted towards a magnet. As he moved towards the chair, the speaker stopped speaking. He could not even complete the sentence because he was too shocked to see Gangadhar Pant sitting on it. The audience directed Gangadhar Pant to vacate the chair because it was kept there as a symbol and did not require a person to be seated in it. But the professor rubbished their claims and stated that a public lecture was not possible without a presiding dignitary. Give vent to means to express strong emotions. Yet Professor Gaitonde went to the mic to express his views. He addressed the gathering and said that an unchaired lecture was like Shakespeare's play Hamlet without the Prince of Denmark. In Shakespeare's play, the main character is Hamlet, who is the Prince of Denmark. So, the story of the play cannot be possible or written without the main character. In the same way, a public lecture also cannot be possible without a chairperson. But the audience was not ready to listen to him. They were sick and tired of remarks, vote of thanks, and long introductions. They only wanted to listen to the speaker, as they had abolished the old custom a long time ago. But Gangadhar Pant had the experience of speaking at 999 meetings, so he went on talking. The audience started throwing tomatoes, eggs, and other objects at him. Valiantly means with courage or determination. Sacrilege means violation of what is regarded as sacred. He bravely continued to correct this violation of not having a chairperson at the public lecture. Finally, the audience climbed the stage to bodily throw him off. After that, Gangadhar Pant was lost somewhere in the crowd. Dumbfounded means greatly astonished or amazed. Rationalized means justify something with logical reasons. Up till this point, the professor is narrating about his strange experiences to his friend Rajendra. He was found in the Azad Maidan in the morning. He didn't know where exactly had he spent those 2 days. Rajendra was amazed by his story. Rajendra's explanation. Prior means before. Rajendra inquired what he was thinking before his collision with the truck. Catastrophe is an event causing great and usually sudden damage or suffering, a disaster. The professor said that he was thinking of the catastrophe theory and its implications in history. Smugly, with excessive satisfaction or pride in oneself. Rajendra smiled with self satisfaction as he thought he had found the real reason behind this unusual incident. At that moment, Professor Gaitonde produced a vital piece of evidence to prove the truth of his journey. It was a page torn out of a book. As Rajendra read the text on the printed page, the expression on his face changed. He became serious as he read it. Inadvertently means absent mindedly. Gangadhar Pant had absent mindedly slipped the bakar in his pocket when he left the library. He realized his mistake when he was paying for his meal. Meli means commotion. He thought of returning the book the next morning, but lost it in the commotion of Azad Maidan. Only one torn off page remained, and luckily that page contained the important evidence. Turned the tide means reverse a situation. The page described how Vishwas Rao had missed the bullet by a very tiny margin and how that event had reversed the situation in their favor. Then Gangadhar Pant produced his own copy of Bhau Sahibanchi Bakhar, which narrated the important details of the war. Valiantly means bravely, with courage or determination. It described how Vishwas Rao attacked the elite troops courageously. Troops means soldiers. But he was hit by a bullet which resulted in his death. This material evidence forced Rajendra to believe that the professor's experience was not a fantasy. He commented that facts can sometimes be stranger than fantasies. Rajendra Deshpande tried to justify this strange experience with logical reasons. He mentioned two scientific theories, the catastrophe theory and the lack of determinism in quantum theory. I'll try my best to simplify this. Catastrophe theory states that a small change in circumstance can bring a sudden shift in the course of events. According to the textbook, it is a crucial event gone the other way. Professor Gaitonde had passed through a fantastic experience, a catastrophic experience. He applied this theory to the Battle of Panipat. Face-to-face wars fought on open grounds were excellent examples of this theory. During the battle, when the Maratha army was facing Abdali's troops on the field of Panipat, there was no great difference between their soldiers and their armor. They were on an equivalent status. Hence, a lot depended on the leadership and the morale of the troops. Meli refers to a confused crowd of people. It was a catastrophic moment when the son of the Peshwa, Vishwas Rao, the heir to the throne, was killed, and his uncle Bhau Sahib was lost into the quarrelling crowd. The latter was never found. This was a crucial moment when the Marathas lost both their leaders. Their morale and the fighting spirit was lost. As a result, they also lost the battle. Rout refers to a disorderly retreat of defeated troops. After that, the defeated Maratha army retreated. That was the incident of the real world. But in the parallel world, Professor Gaitonde saw the bullet missing Vishwas Rao and the Marathas winning the battle. The torn page indicated that the course of the battle changed when the bullet missed Vishwas Rao. It was an important event that turned the other way and hence changed the course of history. Here, the catastrophic incident is the bullet either missing or hitting the leader. The present state of affairs is a result of such incidents in history. This theory can be applied to any other battle or historical incident also. Impetus, the force or energy with which a body moves. The impact of this event, that is, the bullet missing Vishwas Rao on the troops in the parallel world, was also the opposite. It boosted their morale and provided the extra energy which made all the difference to the result of the war. Speculations means suppositions or guessing based on logic. Similar suppositions have been made about the Battle of Waterloo. If Napoleon would have won the battle, but our unique world has a unique history which cannot be changed. Rajendra said that reality is something that we experience directly with our senses or indirectly through instruments. Instruments refers to the scientific equipment that help in seeking clarifications regarding unknown things so that we get a better understanding. But reality might not be limited to what we see. Unique means one of its kind. It might have other manifestations, and that reality may not be unique. This has been understood with the help of experiments on very small systems of atoms and their constituent particles. Startling means very surprising, astonishing, or remarkable. When dealing with such systems, the physicist discovered something very surprising. And even if a person knew all the physical laws governing those systems, the behavior of these systems could not definitively be predicted. He gives an example. If he fired an electron from a source, where would it go? If a bullet was fired from a gun in a given direction at a given speed, he would not know where it would be at a later time. But the same thing could not be said with such an assertion about the electron. It may be here or there or at any other place. He could only make a logical speculation about where it could be found at a specified location and at a specified time. The second theory that he talks about is the lack of determinism in quantum theory. Ignoramus means an ignorant or stupid person. Quantum theory is a theory of matter and energy. Professor Gaitonde said that even an ignorant historian like him had heard of the lack of determinism in quantum theory. If one imagines different pictures of the world, then in one world an electron is found in one place and at some other place in another world. In a third world, it would be at a still different location. Once the observer finds where it is, one would know which world one was talking about. Martial means organize. But all those alternative worlds can exist at the same time, said Rajendra, while he organized his thoughts. Gaitonde wanted to know whether there was any contact between those many worlds. The explanation. Rajendra said yes also and no also. He asked the professor to imagine two worlds, in both of which an electron was orbiting the nucleus of an atom. Gangadhar Pant wanted to know whether that movement was like that of the planets orbiting around the sun. Trajectory means path or orbit. Rajendra denied by stating that we know the exact orbit of a planet, but the electron could be orbiting any of the large number of states. The behavior of electrons orbiting the nucleus in an atom cannot be predicted. There are different states of energy. State number 1, the electron is in a state of higher energy. State number 2, the electron is in a state of lower energy. These states may be used to identify the world. Radiation means the emission of energy as electromagnetic waves. It can make a jump from high energy to low energy and send out a pulse of radiation, means a lot of energy. Alternatively, a pulse of radiation can knock it out of state number 2 to state number 1. These states can apply to the world also. Macroscopic means large scale. These types of transitions are common in microscopic systems. Transition means changing from one state to another. But if it happened on a macroscopic level, it might lead to a transition from the world we live in to a parallel world and back again. One world has the history we know, and the other a different history. He neither traveled to the past, nor to the future, nor to another place, but experienced a journey to the parallel world during the present time. That is the reason why he sees an India which is so advanced and well developed because it hadn't been oppressed by the yoke of slavery. Fantastic means remarkably impressive, radically, in a thorough or fundamental way, completely. Even though the explanation seemed remarkably impressive, it was the only one that he could offer. His theory was that disastrous situations offered completely different options for the world to move ahead. Viable means workable or feasible. And as far as reality is concerned, all options, that is, alternatives, seem to be feasible, that is, viable. But the observer could experience only one of them at a time. Gaitonde was able to experience two worlds due to this change or transition, even though it was one world at a time. First one, the one he lives in now. Second one, the one where he spent 2 days. The first one has the history that we know, and the second one has a different history. Bifurcations means division of something into two branches or parts. The separation or division took place at the time of the Battle of Panipat. He neither traveled to the past nor to the future. He was in the present time but experiencing a different world. Token means representation. By the same representation, there could be many more different worlds arising out of division at different points of time. Gangadhar Pant wanted to know why he made the transition, but Rajendra did not know the answer. There are many unsolved questions in science, and this was one of them. But people like him still made logical assumptions. Transition is change from one state or condition to another. Some interaction is required to make a change. Perhaps he was thinking about the catastrophe theory and its role in wars at the time of the collision. Neurons means nerve cells. Trigger means set off. He was probably thinking about the Battle of Panipat, and the cells in his brain acted as a trigger. Professor Gaitonde appreciated his friend's speculation. He was indeed wondering what course history would have taken if the result of the battle had gone the other way. Recounting means telling or narrating. He said that this was going to be the topic of his 1000th presidential address, for which he was traveling in a car, that is. Rajendra laughed and said that now Pant could narrate his real life experience instead of making suppositions. But Gangadhar Pant was serious. Grave means serious. He said that he had already made his 1000th address on the Azad Maidan when he was so rudely interrupted. The Professor Gaitonde, who had disappeared while defending his chair on the platform, would never preside at another meeting. He had already said no to the organizers of the Panipat seminar. That is the end of the lesson. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel.